Hey, it's your brother Malcolm Brown, and we're back with another episode of Midweek Motivation. Look, I'm so excited to dive into this topic of conversation today. So look, we all live in a world where we have information at our fingertips. So we're going to talk about the most powerful, single, life-changing tool that we have today, and that's called personal development. But before we go there, I have to introduce my special guest, my brother, real estate investor, life strategist, financial literacy advocate, the one and only Rodney Terry. My man, what's up, bro?
What's going on, brother? So glad to be here.
Yeah, so Rodney, man, we talking about personal development today, really changing our life from foundational standpoint. I just want to ask you, how has personal development impacted your life?
Personal development has definitely impacted my life in a major way, only because I feel like because I have developed personally, I know what direction I want to go in life. I learned early about this concept of live by design and not by default. Where you begin to literally say, okay, this is how I kind of want my life to be. This is kind of what I'm expecting out of my life. This is the type of impact I want to make out of my life. And then how do I get myself in a place where I can have those steps in place so that I can go after those things. So
Rodney, tell me just a little bit about your life, your journey. I mean, you got a resume out of this world. There's so much stuff that Rodney does that I didn't even mention today. But tell me tell me a little bit about your life, and give me a little bit of the journey getting here, because people see you now, and don't understand the journey. So let's talk a little bit about the journey.
Okay, so for the journey for me, born and raised on the west side of Chicago.
West side.
60th home in North Lawndale, graduated from Marsh High School.
On the south side, I love Harold's Chicken.
Yeah, definitely Uncle Raymond's over here. But I grew up, there was this program in my high school called the Pathway to Pharmacy program. It's literally launched my career in the pharmaceutical industry. I became a pharmacy tech at the age of 17. I was in the retail pharmacy business, and then eventually got in the hospital pharmacy, which kind of changed the trajectory of everything for me. There was this quote that says that people don't perish for the lack of money, they perish for lack of knowledge, which is equivalent to information. So without information, there could be no application. Without application, there could be no manifestation. But information doesn't come until a person is exposed, right? And so exposed and ready, I like that. And so in that pharmacy world, they were exposing me to something different, because I was around people who had white coats, who were owning the properties and not renting the ones that they lived. They were owning their cars and not leasing them. They had businesses on top of working their 9 to 5. And I thought to myself, man, it's just not a matter of, I thought you go to work, you pay your bills, you're safe for retirement, you're retired, then you die. It's kind of like that concept, because there was nothing else that I had seen like this in that exposure. So after a while, I say, you know what? I would like to change my my passion, because I felt a strong pull to real estate. And
so you went from selling drugs to going to real estate. Okay. Rodney was selling drugs and went to buying buildings. Yes, sir. You definitely from the west side.
Okay. But reality is, though, so I was 18 years old when I first took my first course in the Jay Morrison Academy to learn everything about real estate. I love Jay Morrison, shout out to Jay. And it literally changed my mind. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I got this pharmacy thing going, but I am so drawn to real estate. And there was somebody who told me, he was just like, if you follow your passion, money will follow you. If you follow money, misery will be your portion.
Wow.
And he challenged, he says, follow your passion and money will follow you. If you follow money, misery will be your portion.
Wow.
Yeah, he told me, he said, he asked me, he said, how long it take to go to pharmacy school? Because I was obviously on that track. I said, about 6 years. He said, how much does it cost? I said, about $120,000. He said, do you think you can take the next 6 years and invest those hours into your passion and be making 6 figures, then have owed it to a school? I said, yes. Then he said, simply do that.
Wow.
He's like, then do it. And now, of course, I just told myself I'm not just going to just jump out there. I gave myself a little bit of time, but because I trusted his opinion based off of the results that he had out of life, I decided to make the shift.
And see, that is the biggest, I think, aha moment that anybody can ever realize, that when you realize that it is the time that you put into a thing that really gives you back the benefit. A lot of times we're trading time for dollar on our jobs, right? You know, you're going to pay me $22 an hour for my time or $50 an hour for my time, when really you can invest that time in personal development and add value to yourself that you can bring to the marketplace. And so guess what? No one is telling you how much they're going to pay you for your time.
Yep.
You now tell them how much they're going to pay you for your time.
That's right.
And it creates that shift, that paradigm shift in your life. Personal development does that. So I'm glad we said that, because I want to ask you, what value did you add to yourself, and as far as offering yourself to the marketplace by personal development?
Okay, a great question. Yeah. So I heard that readers were leaders. Yeah. I was doing TV at the time. Again, this another mentor was just like, yo, how many books are you reading? And I was like, I hate reading. I did. I was like, I hate reading nothing. And then he's like, okay. He said, I'm gonna challenge you. He said, 2 weeks, just turn off the TV and choose a book. I chose Rich Dad Poor Dad because that was the thing that was popular, Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it. That 2 weeks turned into the last, this is October 2019, that turned into the last 9 years. I have not watched TV.
Wow.
I do not watch TV at all. Like, if I can, I'd grab a book or a podcast.
You know what's amazing too? So I tell people all the time that what you feed your mind, you are becoming.
Absolutely.
Right. So my following has been able to watch me literally transform my life over a course of a number of years. Yep. Right. The past decade, I've literally transformed from the hood dude to whoever I am now. Yeah. And a lot of that, a great entrepreneur. But a lot of that has to do with what I'm feeding my mind. I have a library that will blow your mind.
I can imagine.
Right at home, I don't have a TV. I don't watch TV. My wife watches TV.
Yeah,
for her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I read. I read. And the benefit of reading is this. So a lot of times we want to learn how to do things. We want to know about life and try to get this notion or this concept down.
Absolutely.
And you have authors that have lived this thing, that have hundreds of years of knowledge and wisdom. Right in the book.
Right in the book.
All you got to do is read it.
Yes.
You can't find a mentor. Guess what? I have mentors. My mentor name is Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Come on.
I got Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. I got Napoleon Hill. I got right, like just to name a few. These are my mentors, and they get to sit with me and talk with me and help me mold and develop myself. And for those that say, I don't like to read, you're lying. Okay? Yes, I'm gonna call you flat out a liar, because when you get up in the morning, first thing you reach for is your phone. You're reading 90% of your day. From the moment you wake up, from the moment you open your eyes to the moment that you close them, because you're reading text messages, you're reading statuses on Facebook and Instagram, you're reading emails, you're reading little posts, blog posts, all of that. It's all about funneling your attention in the right direction that's going to add value to yourself. Okay, man, but we gonna move past. I can talk about that all day, man.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was good. What are some routes you took in order to learn?
Some routes that I took in order to learn was a lot of failure, like failed routes. So there was this concept, the young lady who became a multi-billionaire by creating Spanx. Her father would ask her every night at dinner time, what did you fail at? Now that's an uncommon question for a parent to ask a child. Matter of fact, I know that if I failed at anything, my grandma was not having it. Okay, that's what raised me and my brothers. My grandmother was not having it, and so the idea that he was trying to instill in his daughter, he kept asking her, what have you failed at? So that she can get used to failing, not to stay in failure, but to figure out from failure. Mm-hmm. So that if she, in the future, most times if you say, no, you're not supposed to be failing, and then a person fails and they feel like that their life is just in shambles, they feel like I've done something wrong, I can't move forward from this failure because I'm supposed to be perfect. Versus she was so in a trance of, oh, okay, that didn't work, let me figure this out. And so because she kept figuring out from mistake after mistake, she grew into this multi-billion-dollar company that, as you ladies know, for those lady viewers, as the Spanx.
I oftentimes say failure is the gymnasium that God uses to work out the greatness inside of you in life. Absolutely. Because see, what happens is you start a thing and then, okay, it don't go right. Most people just give up. You cannot give up. You have to ask yourself this question. Yeah. Why didn't it work right?
So true.
Why didn't it work? Only thing that makes something a failure or impossible is the point in which the last person stopped. Okay, just because you did not make it or you didn't do it right properly the first time, go back, figure out what it is, do it again. You're working yourself out. You're working out your strength. You're working out your intelligence. You're working out your strategy. You're working out your leadership ability. Go back. Don't stop. Look, I failed at a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm so glad I failed, because my failure with $10,000 could have saved me $1 million in my future.
Yep.
I'm gonna learn the lesson now, and I'm not gonna quit. So look, check this out, y'all. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, me and Rodney is gonna talk about how do you cut down to the core of yourself and figure out what's that seed of greatness and how you can develop it with personal development. See y'all again soon.
I hope you guys are enjoying the interview so far. If there's nothing else that I'm passionate about, it's definitely empowering millennial leaders in real estate, financial literacy, and personal development. Now you guys can stay connected with me on my Instagram @LifeWithRodney, or check out my website, realtywithrodney.com. I'm not gonna spend too much time here because I want to get back to this interview.
Blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound, impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
And we're back. Look, I'm here with my brother Rodney Terry, and if you missed it, we're talking about personal development. So Rodney, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What's one of the most important parts about personal development?
I think one of the most important part about personal development should be the understanding, first of all, of who and what you have on the inside of you. Okay, now I'm gonna go biblically, because God has given each of us our own gifts, our own talent. And the very first commandment that he's given to each of us was to be fruitful and to multiply. That was the very first thing. When he was talking to Adam and Eve, when he also talked to Noah when he got off the boat, it was be fruitful and to multiply. That seed on the inside of you is what you generally have to develop. And think about it, even when you put a seed in the ground, it's supposed to grow something.
Which is perfect, because it leads me to this illustration that I want to show you all today, right? So right here I have an apple, right? We all know apple, right? We love these apples, but really what do I have in my hand? I have an orchard, because there's something inside of this apple. It's a seed. And right, let me tell you something. The apple's true possibility, right? Its true purpose, its fulfillment is never in the peelings. It's inside the core of it, but we have to get to the core. In order to get to your core, you have to begin to cut away all of the things that's on top. Like literally, cut away the skin. It's not in the skin of the apple, it's not in the meat of the apple, but it's in the core, because when you get down to the core, what we have here is we have seeds, right? The Bible says that God placed the seed of a thing within itself. It's something inside of you that you have to find. You have to get down to the core of yourself. That's what you know, how you know what to develop, okay? Begin to cut away those things in your life. I'm talking about debt. I'm talking about depression. I'm talking about family culture. I'm talking about history. I'm talking about daddy issues. Cut away all of that stuff so you can get down to your core, and then you will find, check this out, that God placed something inside of you. It's the seed of a thing that's within itself that allows it to be fruitful. You are not just here to work a job, to pay bills, and to die. God placed something inside of you that you have to develop, all right? And personal development allow you to get there. So I thought that was a pretty good illustration. I loved it when I first seen it. I had to share it with you all, because it's so important that you cut down to your core. Like really get away some of those things that are on top of you. I remember when I decided I was going to go into business, I decided I was going to write a book. All these different things that God has graced me to do in my life, it was a cutting away process that I had to go through in order for the fulfillment and the manifestation of what God showed me to come into my life. So I'm going to ask you, Rodney, what are some things that you had to cut away to become who you are today?
Well, one of the things, and it's interesting because I've defined success. differently. So I used to think that success was when you got to this point.
Yeah.
But then I learned from this one guy by the name of Earl Nightingale. Earl, he said that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And what that means is success isn't a point that you get to. Success is the moment that you write out the goals and you start checking them out. It's a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And that freed me from this whole idea that, okay, when I make 6 figures, I'm successful. No, the moment that I set out and say, I want to make $1 million this year, I have to sell 10 homes at this amount and then at this commission. So now I'm beginning to sell these homes, I'm beginning to market these homes. I'm already successful because I'm checking these goals off. Okay, so the first thing I had to cut away was that old ideology of how I thought success meant. And then second, I had to cut off insecurity. Because and then we talk about most recently, insecurity. Yeah, it's just insecurity, like, yo, am I good enough? You know, I'm a black male in the real estate industry, selling homes in Lincoln Park, all the way to Naperville.
Let me stop you right there, brother. Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
So this is for everybody that's insecure.
Yeah.
Everybody that's insecure. When you step into a room, you belong to be there.
Yeah, come on.
And everything that you need to be in that room is already inside of you.
Yes.
Guess what? The apple is in the seed.
Yes.
The tree is in the seed.
Yeah.
God placed a seed inside of you, and every opportunity that He's going to give you, you are worthy of, and you have everything that you need to be there. Every goal that you set, you already have everything you need to accomplish that goal. You were born with it, because guess what? The fruit of the tree is in the seed.
Yes.
I need y'all to understand you have everything that you need to be successful. So talk to that insecure part of yourself. Cast that thing back out. It don't belong in your mind. It is not of God. And just know, everything that you need is already inside of you. Go ahead, Rodney.
Let me add something, because now that you said that, that's major. That he said that you belong because of this. Now that's how I got past the insecurity. You had a very special guest, Shamari, and he said something that blew my mind. Right? He says that I have to get to a space where I know that I belong and not try to fit in. He says, because if you try to fit in, if you try to fit a circle into a square, you either have to cut something off or add something on. He said, but when you belong, you just fit in it. So now I walk into those environments knowing that, oh, I belong here. It's like I'm qualified just as everybody else has got. I have the licenses everybody else has license, and then I have my own personality, that gift that God has given me. So
the room is not complete. The room ain't complete until you walk in.
Come on now.
Because now something can click.
Yeah, it's true.
Because we got everything we need now.
Yeah.
I just walked in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can take what you have, I can take what he got, I can take what we can bring it to the table, we can make something happen.
I'm still building on his confidence.
Hey,
I love the way this man.
Hey, the Bible says if thieves put their mind together, they can build anything.
Absolutely,
okay, so
yes.
there's something that you have that room needed in order to move forward.
Yeah.
All right, so now that I'm here, it's time to work. Let's make it happen. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, look. So before we get out of here, man, I want to just release Rodney for a second, man. To talk to some of my viewers, whoever's watching this. Some of y'all on the job, you hate your job. You hate going into that place. Every time you go in, they make your booty itch. Okay, you're tired of the people. You're tired of your managers.
Yes.
There's something inside of you that you got to develop.
Yes.
There's somebody sitting at home right now, you know, trying to figure out their life. You like, man, I feel something inside of me. I should be more productive than I am, but I don't know which way to go. I hear you, dog. I was there. You know, so I'm gonna release Rodney right now. Rodney, I want you to talk to our viewers, and I want you to tell them, one, who they are, and how they can develop themselves to open up new dimensions in their life. I want you to look right there in that camera and talk to them, brother.
So I just want to let you guys know, for one, that you were created by a creative. God is your creator, and so if he's such a creator, then you know you have that ability to do as he says, you'll do greater works than I've done. And so you want to make sure that, for one, you understand your confidence. It's almost like somebody calling me Chris, and I would never answer to Chris, because that's not my name. Matter of fact, when Adam and Eve was in the garden, they were just like, why are you hiding? It was like we were naked. He said, who told you were naked? I've understood, and I've learned over time, it was more of an identity thing. Who told you were something that I have not identified you to be? Mm-hmm. And so if you know who you are and walk in that confidence, then you know how to develop it. So and in the beginning of this interview, I talked about living by design and not by default. By default is saying, this is what you should do. This is how you should go. Living by design is saying, okay, God, what is it that you have on the inside of me that I'm able to put back into this world to be able to fulfill what your commandment was, to be fruitful and to multiply and catapult that and to begin to leave my legacy over time. If you leave a seed in the ground, it will grow something else. So even though the apple is eaten and then the middle part is thrown away, at the end of the day, those seeds are going to continue to grow until the very end of time. So if you walk in that confidence and you know that, and you continue to develop that personality, no, I won't be called, oh, you're dumb. No, I'm not dumb. That's not my name. That's not who I am. Like, oh, you're not good enough. No, actually, I really am good enough, you know? And so if you walk in that, then you'll understand who you are, and you will be able to make better choices throughout our life and live your best and highest expression of yourself as God has created you.
Come on, Rodney. Hey, man, look. Dog, that was so good. that was so good, bro. Oh, man. So, look, check this out. It's been amazing. I'm so thankful for my brother, Rodney Terry. And I want you all to understand, you have the power to become whatever you want to, and we have the tools, okay?
Yes.
The millennial generation, we have everything we need at our fingertips. Take some time today. Do some research on that thing that you want to do. Figure it out. Watch a video or two on it. Get you a book. Read the book about it. But whatever you do, invest time into yourself. No more will we give more on our jobs than we give to ourselves. No more will we give more to our friends than we give to ourselves. Your dream deserve to have life. Your dream matters, and what you have in this world, we are waiting on. God placed it inside of you so it can manifest in the world. So look, I love y'all. I'm Malcolm Brown, and if you want to start your personal development journey today, please check out my new book, 10 Miles to Your Destiny. You can find it on Amazon. This book will help you walk through life, okay? We all have dreams, okay? Yes. We all have dreams, but we forget when we wake up, we gotta live real life, and it ain't no joke. This book is going to help you get up. This book is going to help you keep going. This book is going to help you press towards the mark. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all again soon. My man, Rodney.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Love you, brother.
Yo, what's going on? It's your brother, Malcolm Brown, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Look around, like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget, leave something in the comment section for me. I want to hear from you. See you again.
Living life in the fast lane, trying to decrease. It's hard holding on to your past when you're trying to be free. Tell you like a wise man told me, you got to release.